it all kind of definitely came crashing down in 2016 when I took a step that to go after Hillary Clinton when she was running for president in the Democratic primary. I was vice chair of the DNC, and I saw that the mainstream media, they were all saying she was the most qualified person ever to run for president and listing out all of the titles that she has held, but not a single one of them was questioning or holding her to account for her record on foreign policy or challenging her on what kind of commander in chief she
or
would
the
be.
job that she had done in any of those jobs. Like
Right.
that was irrelevant.
And then the actual record of what happened. Tell us what happened in Libya actually, for you, for her pushing for the regime change in Libya and what happened as a consequence. There are so many different examples.
For sure. So you said that out loud. What happened then?
I resigned as vice chair of the DNC.
Why?
Because the rules said that as officers of the DNC, you can't take sides in a partisan primary. The DNC itself under Debbie Wasserman clearly was in every way tilting the scales for Hillary Clinton. But I resigned as vice chair of the DNC and endorsed Bernie Sanders around this single issue of foreign policy.
Yes.
Specifically because while I disagreed with Bernie on a bunch of things, he was certainly more of a non-interventionist than the warmonger that Hillary Clinton is. And I knew that would provide me with a platform to have a voice and actually speak the truth to the American people about her record and how dangerous she would be if she were ever our president, and how personal this was for me, because the cost is real.
So what happened when you did that?
I announced it on Meet the Press on a Sunday morning. Didn't tell anybody I was doing it. No one, before I went and made that announcement on that show. Monday morning, came back to work, and a lot of my Democrat colleagues were basically reading, drafting their political eulogies for me. Just like, you're done, Tulsi. Hillary will be president. You will not get a single dime for your district. Anything that your community needs.
For your district?
For my district.
Not for your campaign?
Not for me. For my district. They've never given me anything for any of my campaigns, and I'm totally fine with that. But that my district and my constituency in Hawaii would be punished for doing what I did. I also learned that there is an actual list of people who are, blacklisted, I suppose. And I was told that it would take years and years and years to ever work my way off that list. I was chuckling at
Wait,
all.
So they said this out loud? They thought this,
yeah.
or they said it out loud?
Oh yeah, no. These were many conversations, walking to and from votes with different people who were pulling me aside, and offering their condolences, their political condolences to me, because that I had made a decision that they said would be equal to the death of my political future.
That's crazy.
Yeah. MSNBC, I remember doing an interview. I think it was one of the first debates that Bernie and Hillary had in Florida, I think it was. And an MSNBC anchor said, like, aren't you afraid of the Clintons and what they'll do? And I said, no, I'm not afraid. But I thought it was quite curious that he felt compelled to ask that question with concern in his voice.
Yeah, well, people who've been around them knew.
Yeah.
So you still, though, were in the party. When did it become clear, like, I can't represent this party anymore?
It was in the fall of 2022. There were a lot of critical midterm elections happening that year, increasingly over time. And it wasn't one specific thing that caused me to make this decision, but it was increasingly over time. A couple of things. Obviously, the radical change that the Democratic Party leadership went through in really truly become a woke warmongering party of the elite. But also it was a recognition that I had done all I could to try to change the party from within. I tried as vice chair of the DNC. I tried as a candidate running for president in 2020 in the Democratic primary. And the things that I was talking about bringing the party back to its roots, bringing the party back to being the party of the people and the party of freedom, the party of peace and security, it not only fell on deaf ears, I was booed by, the party elite for having the audacity to push for these sorts of things.
This is a very restrained version of what I saw. They didn't just boo you. Yeah. They accused you of being an agent for a foreign power and a disloyal American and an evil person.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw that.
It's true. It's such a crazy accusation to make. Obviously completely baseless. The media never asked Hillary Clinton for evidence of this traitorous, treasonous act that she's accusing me of as a sitting member of Congress and as a soldier wearing our country's uniform.
An officer, right?
Yes. And here's the problem is that it works. And that's why they continue, even now, how many years later, they continue to fall back on the Russia playbook. It's a Russian asset. They've used this against you. They've used this against Donald Trump, and they continue to come back to this.
Yeah, but I'm not an officer in the United States Army, and you are. So it's a little weird to say, Hillary Clinton, I will never forget it, accused you of being a disloyal person. That's a crime under the military code, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And one that would not only be grounds for them to remove my security clearance, but it would be grounds for discharge, and it would be grounds for, enforcement under the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
Well, yeah, if you're actually working for a foreign power as a military officer, you can be executed for it. Yeah. So, it's not a small thing to say. So rather than just saying, Tulsi Gabbard's an idiot or I disagree with her or whatever, they went right to that, the heaviest thing you could ever say about somebody, about an American. That was all foreign policy related, right?
Yes.
That's the way it felt to me.
It was foreign policy related, and it was related to the fact that I had the audacity to go against them, to challenge the elite of the Democratic Party, which is Hillary Clinton and it's Barack Obama and it's the people who surround them in the military industrial complex, in the media industrial complex, those who are pushing. And it's not limited to the Democratic Party, of course. Oh. Mitt Romney also called me a treasonous person who is a Russian asset or something along those lines. So they are all part of this permanent Washington elite who cannot allow for those who challenge them to go unscathed, because their whole existence is based around that. It's based around power and where they get their power from.
And the main source of power, obviously, is the exercise of military force.
Yes. It's the most powerful thing. We are the most powerful military in the world. And that's what's so offensive about them, and what they're advocating for is they treat our military. It's like, and actually, I don't want to say they forget, because they're not stupid. They really don't care about the men and women who make up our military and who live and die by the consequences of their actions.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. The internet is crowded with interesting things that don't really matter. On TCN, we attempt to bring you interesting things that actually do matter, and a lot of them. Interviews, long form and short, videos, documentaries. You can find all of it on tuckercarlson.com, and we hope you will.